It's one of the most confusing, frustrating patterns in dating, and almost every woman has either lived it or watched a friend live it. The good man, the steady one, the one who texts back, shows up, does what he says, somehow gets overlooked, sometimes even called boring. And the toxic one, the confusing one, the one who disappears and reappears whenever he feels like it, somehow gets chosen, chased, forgiven, again and again, no matter how many times he proves he shouldn't be. It's not because women are broken, or bad at choosing, or asking for it, and it's not a character flaw either. There are real psychological reasons this keeps happening, patterns rooted in how the brain and nervous system actually work. Today I'm breaking down the real reasons why good men get ignored while toxic men get chosen, and stay till the end, because the last point quietly explains almost everything else on this list. Let's get into it. 1. Chaos feels like chemistry. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The nervous system doesn't actually know the difference between anxiety and attraction because both feel almost identical in the body. Racing heart, obsessive thinking, a stomach full of nerves, the inability to stop checking your phone. A toxic dynamic, full of uncertainty, mixed signals, and unpredictability, keeps that nervous system activated constantly. And that activation gets misread as intense chemistry, as a spark, as something rare and special that's worth holding on to no matter the cost. Meanwhile, a good man, steady and predictable, doesn't trigger that same physical response because there's no uncertainty keeping the nervous system on alert, no unanswered question keeping you up at night. Calm doesn't spike adrenaline the way chaos does, so peace, ironically, can feel like the absence of chemistry when really it's just the absence of anxiety. People aren't choosing toxic men because they want pain. They're chasing a physical sensation they've been taught to associate with real attraction, even though that sensation is often just stress wearing a very convincing disguise. 2. Consistency gets mistaken for boring. This one is deeply unfair, but it's real. When someone is consistent, predictable, always available, always kind, that consistency can start to feel unremarkable simply because it doesn't require any work to access it. There's no game, no chase, no uncertainty to keep the mind occupied, nothing to solve or figure out. And somewhere along the way, a lot of people were conditioned by movies, by past relationships, by culture itself, to associate effort and difficulty with value. If it was easy to get, it must not be worth much. If he's always available, where's the challenge? Where's the thing to earn? This mindset isn't really about the good man being boring at all. It's about mistaking difficulty for depth, mistaking scarcity for value, when in reality consistency is one of the rarest, most valuable things a person can offer, precisely because so few people are actually capable of it long term. 3. Familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar peace. This is the one that surprises people most, but it makes complete sense once you understand it. If someone grew up around inconsistency, emotional unavailability, or unpredictability, whether from a parent, an early relationship, or repeated dating experiences, their nervous system learned that pattern as normal a long time ago, long before they had any say in the matter. Even when it hurts, familiar pain can feel strangely safer than unfamiliar peace, simply because the brain knows how to navigate familiar territory, even painful territory, better than it knows how to navigate something completely new and unfamiliar. A good man's steady, safe love can actually feel foreign, even suspicious, to someone whose nervous system was never taught what safety feels like in the first place. It's not that peace is undesirable. It's that peace can feel unfamiliar enough to trigger doubt, distrust, or a subconscious waiting for the other shoe to drop, even when there's genuinely no reason to expect it will. 4. Good men rarely chase. Here's the one that quietly explains a lot of what came before it. A toxic dynamic often involves one person constantly trying to earn attention, chasing clarity, chasing consistency that never fully arrives no matter how hard they try. That chase creates investment, and investment creates attachment, even when what's being chased is genuinely bad for the person doing the chasing. A good man, by contrast, typically doesn't play games, doesn't create uncertainty on purpose, and doesn't require anyone to chase him to know where they stand with him. But without that chase, without that active pursuit, some people struggle to feel invested because they've unconsciously learned to associate investment with effort and pursuit, not with ease and mutual respect. Good men aren't ignored because they're lacking anything. They're sometimes ignored because peace doesn't ask to be chased, and some people have only ever learned how to value what they have to work for. 5. Society rewards the chase, not the choosing. And here's a piece of this that goes beyond individual psychology entirely. Culture itself often glamorizes the chase. Movies build entire storylines around winning someone over, changing someone, chasing someone who initially seems unavailable or uninterested. The dramatic love story almost never centers on two emotionally healthy people simply choosing each other calmly, because calm doesn't sell tickets. Calm doesn't make a gripping plot. So without even realizing it, people absorb the idea that real love is supposed to be difficult, dramatic, hard-won, when in reality, the healthiest relationships are often the least cinematic. They're steady, calm, undramatic, built on simple mutual choosing rather than struggle. Unlearning that cultural programming is part of learning to recognize that a good man choosing you easily isn't a lesser story. It might actually be the rarer, more valuable one. Closing. So let's recap. Chaos feels like chemistry because the nervous system confuses anxiety with attraction. Consistency gets mistaken for boring because effort has been wrongly linked to value. Familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar peace because the brain trusts what it already knows, even when what it knows hurts. Good men rarely chase, which can make them harder to feel invested in for someone who's only ever learned to value pursuit. And society itself often glamorizes the chase over the choosing, quietly teaching everyone that calm love is somehow less real than dramatic love. None of this means good men are doing anything wrong, and if this made you see things differently, drop a like, subscribe for more relationship content every week, and let me know in the comments which one of these hit hardest for you. See you in the next video.